There is no question that new Canucks general manager Patrick Allvin has some decisions to make in the offseason. And one of them, of course, is J.T.Miller. Elliotte Friedman reported on Monday that it's expected that J.T.Miller will want Mika Zibanejad money, which is about $8.5 million a year. Should the Canucks pay that? We discussed that on the Shifts and Pucks podcast.
It's the obvious answer is for how many years, right? I think for right now, yes, I think it's a pretty easy decision. He's worth that, but we're going to see this J.T. Miller in the future. That's always the question and the frightening part about free agency.
And you also don't know where the drop-off is for Miller either. So, he could be great for the next 3 years, but what if he drops off significantly after that? And if you give him 7 years or 8 years, which is likely what his agent's gunning for, yeah, you kind of handcuff yourself.
And that's the biggest issue right now is he is late 20s, and I don't like giving late 20s players 7-8 year deals. I don't think it is a smart business in the hockey world, but I know we sort of poo-pooed the window idea. When do you think the Canucks can be contending for the cup here? Is it within 2-3 years? And do you need J.T. Miller? Then do you take that risk and see if that works?
I would probably I agree 8 is too much. I don't know. I think 5 and 8. I would visit it. I mean, it answers that question. To answer your question, Sean, I think that this window is here because, the air quote window, the opportunity is here. Let's look at the other team that we talk about on this podcast. The Calgary Flames is not exactly doing any developing and found some sort of window here. No, we're not. No, that did not happen. You just look at, if you think that happened, I think that you're looking at this through revisionist history eyes. They made a few trades. They hired Daryl Sutter and they turned it around. They didn't draft and develop. They've done some drafting, some developing. Yes, but it's not.
We've seen two or three players from that.
All they did was they Sutterized the lineup that was the 2019 Western Conference #1 team. They just Sutterized that lineup. That's all they did.
Basically, and improved their goaltending significantly as well.
Yep.
I mean, there's that. But it's not like they blew the whole thing up. It's the same general manager.
Yep, exactly. And you look at the Colorado Avalanche, as impressive as everyone is about that team. They haven't been past the second round. They haven't done a lot of things here. They're in that. They're losing. They're learning how to win here.
Yeah. At least they've made it past the first round, and unlike some other teams here. That's something. And to get back to Miller too, we've talked about this with Tkachuk. And this is on Rutherford and Allvin to sell him on this.
Yeah.
If they feel that they can win in 2 to 3 years, then and they can sell Miller on that, and he wants to be a leader on that team that can potentially go deep in the playoffs. Guess what? Guess what you need to do as a player? You need to take $500,000 off a contract here for that, because otherwise that extra if you can get a couple players to take an extra $500,000, that's a player.
Yep.
That can add depth to your lineup that you need to go to be good in this league and to go deep in the playoffs. So I've been very critical and harsh and blunt with Matthew Tkachuk. I'm going to be the exact same thing with J.T. Miller here.
I agree with you, Sean. But what I would say as a counterpoint, though, is you have to find that balance between whether you are making him cut back on term and then you have to give him the extra AAV. but I also get where you're coming from as far as like the whole like home team discount sort of thing that like the Sedins were famous for doing back with that.
It's not even home team discount. It's like, if you want to be a leader on this team, and you want to be able to help this team take that next step, you have to find a way to take some money off that AAV, off that cap hit, to help build a stronger lineup down through the lineup. Because this is a hard cap system where there's only a limited amount of money available, and if you actually want to fucking win, you need to be able to do that.
What do you think? Should J.T. Miller take less? Should the Canucks pay it or trade him? Let us know. Follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network.